Welcome, everyone. Today, we are tackling one of the most common ways families are being targeted, and that is digital scams. I am Chris Garcia, and today we also have my director for the San Diego County Office of Education, Director Dr. Alicia Gallegos. Thank you for being here, Alicia.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. And today we're going to be talking to all of our families regarding online scams and information security. We're going to just provide some practical tips and some solutions, but also present some real time and stories that have impacted us pretty much from the last 40 plus years of just seeing what human characteristics are like when it comes to online scams. But we do want to make a quick announcement before that, and that is for our upcoming sessions. Whenever you're watching this, if you're watching this early November, or if you have an opportunity to register, and the registration will be at sdcoe.net/edtech. But on Monday, November 3rd, we have a parent series entitled "When Gaming Takes Over." So we'll be talking a little bit about video game addiction specifically. But then also we will be talking about technology addiction later on, and we'll be going over the historical situations with that, as well as we will have some of our one of our school counselors from SDCOE also imparting some knowledge with that as well. But then one of my favorite topics we're going to be doing, and I know Dr. Gallegos, she'll be helping me with this one and presenting, and this one's a play on words, but it's the dark side of tech, and it's going to be a digital detox where we will be talking about what types of technology should we or should not be using when it's dark, literally when it's dark outside. Should we be using tech? How does our circadian rhythm, how does our body respond to blue light and whatnot? And we're going to be encouraging our families to do a digital detox plan and challenge during the winter break as we gear up for that. And the links to sign up for all of that is still again on our website, sdcoe.net/edtech. But let's go ahead and get started. And there's several things when it comes to things that we've all experienced on. And Dr. Gallegos, we kind of talked about this, and that is first off, I think one of the first questions was how many have driven a car on the freeway? And I have. I know you have as well.
I've driven a car for sure. I've done like almost every day for the since I was 16.
Now the question is this though: how many times do you know every time you're getting on a toll road?
No, but I question it now because of that email that I get and that text. So I think I'm
So
always on toll roads now.
right. So then there you go, and it gets scary sometimes. You get a message, it's like, okay, the DMV or whatnot. All right. The other questions is here's another question for our if you're watching, just answer to yourself. Have you looked for a job? I have, and I've done it online. In the past, I would go in person, but I've looked on LinkedIn, Indeed. I think there used to be other ones, but I don't know. Have you ever looked for a job online?
Um, Not for me, but I've helped my daughters look for jobs online for sure. So I've looked at Indeed, I've looked all over. I've helped them to look all over for jobs. Yes.
And typically, we have to put private information in when we're looking for jobs. So here we are giving away that. The other thing we also have asked our crowd is how many have bought something from Amazon, guilty as
Oh,
charged. Yes. And I've
yeah.
gotten random text messages saying, like, hey, here's the item that you ordered. Here's a tracking number. And I'm like, I've ordered so much. Sometimes I don't know if it's like, oh, it's being redirected.
I've done that. One time I got something that said, I ordered an iPad and it gave me a link. And um, so weirdest thing, I was tempted to click on that link, but I knew I didn't order an iPad. So I went directly to my Amazon and there was no iPad. So that has happened to me because I thought, you know how like sometimes you put something in your box and you're like, "Oh, maybe I actually did click that and order it." But
Yeah.
not the case.
Especially sometimes even that late night spending when you're, I've woken up before to see an Amazon list of things purchased and to wake up to find out from my wife's like, oh, by the way, last night I bought these things. So yeah, that happens to all of us. And the last one is banking online. I think we all, in a sense, are doing that. Not everybody, but banking online. I am guilty as charged. I almost feel like we have no choice, but I don't know. What's your take on that?
Oh, yeah, I definitely bank online. I remember the olden days of, Friday, the last Friday of every month or the payday. My mom and I would go into the bank, and she would get the money for the month or the weekend or whatever, and if you didn't go that Friday, you wouldn't have money for the rest of the weekend. So the lines were out the door. Sometimes they were like an hour long, and it's so convenient to bank online now, so of course I bank online.
Yeah, everyone does, and I take well. That me kind of answers the next question. We access to money. We all now have PayPal accounts, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and it just the transfusion of money has become very easy. So, if you want to see the results of the poll, you're more than welcome to scan the QR code. But it's just kind of a nice icebreaker. All right, so this next part, Dr. Gallegos, you have experience, and I would love to hear your side of these stories right here. But can you explain to us how scams have always been around?
Yeah, so this is something when Chris Garcia and I started thinking about this, I started thinking about all the scams that I remember, and keep in mind, I'm a lot older than Chris. So back in the day, there was a scam that happened when I was in high school, and it happened to a friend of mine. And he worked at a gas station. And it was a situation where somebody pulled in a really fancy car. I think it was like a Corvette or something, and they dropped a diamond ring, and, they got their gas and then they left. And then right after that, somebody pulled up in just a regular car, let's just say it was a Toyota truck, and picked up the diamond ring, and they showed it to my friend, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, somebody dropped this ring." Right at that time, somebody called the gas station phone number, and keep in mind, this was 86, 87. It was before there were cell phones. So they just called and they said, "Oh my gosh, I dropped my wedding ring." And my friend's like, "Oh, I found it." And the person on the other line said, "I'll be there in a couple minutes. And I'm going to give you a reward. I'm going to give you a $400 reward." So my friend went out and told the guy in the truck, "Yeah, they just called. It's their ring. They're going to give us a $400 reward." And then the guys in the truck, "Well, I have to go. Here's the ring. Give me $200. You could keep the other $200. We'll split it. All good." My friend fell for that, took $200 out of the register, gave it to the person, and that person drove off, and needless to say, the person never came back for the ring. It happened. I thought that was a very unique situation, but it ends up that has been going on, and there was even we found a YouTube video about it, and it was all about how people get scammed at gas stations. Well, fast forward now 40 something years, 41 years later, gas station scams are still going on. And the most common one is where people now go to pay with their card, and the little card
Tap to click.
reader, yeah, the tap and click, the card reader has been replaced with a very bad person who is trying to steal our information's card reader. So gas station scams have been around forever. And the thing is that most of us have survived them. Most of us have not fallen for the gold or the ring or the this or the that being dropped at a gas station and not been scammed. And most of us have not been scammed by the card reader. So I tell this story to say that most of us are going to be fine with online scams, but we need to be aware of what they are, and they've been around forever.
Yeah, that's a great segue to this because they are getting somewhat more sophisticated. However, we're hoping to demystify some of that sophistication and make it aware where everyone can now be aware of, all right, now I can tell what a scam looks like. But the first one that we've all been a victim to, or almost a victim, has been toll roads. And that is a phishing scam where you receive a text message saying that you have an unpaid toll or fine. And while we look at this text message here, here's a sample of it, but you'll see that we'll kind of break it down right now how you can tell it's a fake text message. But we get them. And we see official words like the DMV, overdue, final notice, and it's just there's a sense of urgency that comes with it. I know, Dr. Gallegos, you've had experiences with these text messages, and I think you've even shared before, like you've even had like your kids have had experiences, like wondering,
Yeah.
like, what am I going to do?
It's so scary, and I love that you said official words because that's what they got me on a couple times, and then I'm, like, thinking, "Did I?" So, how many of you have driven that one toll road that takes you up to LA? It starts in, like, Long Beach and takes you up to LA. So, I'm like, "Did I not pay that time that I did that?" So, I start second guessing myself, and I'm like, "I haven't done that for over a month, so I'm
Right.
good." But it's weird because my daughters, when they were new drivers, they kind of had the double whammy. They were new drivers and they were new to phones. So all of a sudden, they got this text message. And one of my daughters called me in such, she was so worried and so stressed. And I had to tell her, no, 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 Hita, that's not, it's a fake. It's a fake. You didn't do anything. You didn't go through a toll. And she's like, but maybe I did. I'm like, nope, it's a fake. And luckily, um, one of our colleagues, Dr. Rabin, created kind of like this how to tell it's a scam. And I had seen it, and we're going to show it to you. And it really helped me talk my daughter through this scam and show her that it's what are some of the things to look out for.
Yeah. No, and that's something to be on the lookout. So we get text messages when it comes to toll roads, but sometimes, like we mentioned earlier, when we order things on Amazon or anything online, well, lo and behold, we get a text message, often with a suspicious looking link or a strange international number, especially if you purchase things like on eBay or anything like that, and you order something online, or the what's that one that it's it's it to me the or that what
It's, that fast fashion, and they sell, like, everything. They sell everything from, like, jammies to, I don't know, like a hose, a garden hose or
right,
something
right.
like
It's
that.
like Tumi, it's like TUMI, and it's like,
Yeah.
but that comes directly from Asia as well. And so we get all these tracking numbers.
Yes.
Sometimes it's too hard to keep up. But that being said, when we get these types of text messages, here's an example text message of how it looks like when it comes to just the font, the lettering, the words. Again, there's always a sense of urgency. Like, hey, hurry up! Here's your tracking package. So you're going to notice I'm going to be saying that word a lot as we continue to go over online scams and security is urgency, because that is the number one tactic that a lot of these scammers are looking for. But like Dr. Gallegos brought up, we're going to quickly analyze this, but also look at it. I'll go over the. How about this, Doctor Yes? Why don't you go over the first one with the toll roads, and then I'll go over the second one with the Amazon things.
That love it. Okay, so this is what our colleague gave me when I was telling her about my daughter and how stressed out she was and how kind of she didn't really know how to even react. So the first thing that we noticed was if you look at the country code, it's not a local number. It's not even the United States. If you looked it up, which I did with my daughter, you would see that it's from the Philippines. The DMV is not subcontracting out to the Philippines. I guarantee that. And so that's like the first thing that it's like, okay, that's weird. And then the thing that Chris keeps mentioning is that fake urgency. And it's like, you need to take care of this right now. Rarely do we have to take care of anything in that immediate instance. So that also gives you that clue that this is fake. It sounds official, and I think that's what kind of threw my daughter off, and that's what throws a lot of us off, is that they sound so official, and then they give us the consequences. And typically, we don't get consequences this specific and numeric in our emails. And so that's something also that I pointed out. The other thing, and this is the one that always, always throws people off, is the web address. They are able to get a web address that's similar, but not quite. So a lot of times they'll have like dmv.gov and then you'll see another dot and it will say en or XM or something like that. That goes to tell you or is telling you that's not a DMV address. And so that's always something to be aware of. And then again, that fake urgency. And what I always tell my daughters is just delete it, just get rid of it. Like I don't even want the record of it. So think about it's always best to kind of take a breath when you get these things and really look at them and then make some decisions and from there, but never ever click on the links. But we'll talk about that later. But that's one of the things I really had to teach my daughters. Don't click on it.
Yeah, and you're pretty much modeling already some of the good best practices when it comes to when this happens. But we'll dive deeper into that. And the one when it comes to online scams with Amazon packages and tracking numbers, sometimes you might, and sometimes it happens with other things. But the first one you're going to notice is you're in a group message, and you'll see right here it says, and even sometimes your phone tells you maybe junk, 17 people. Why are there 17 random people in a text message thread talking about a specific Amazon package? That right there already raises some red flags. Again, then it says important recall notice, safety recall notice, action required. The words important, action required. It gives you that sense of urgency again, like, oh no, I better react, I better do something. And then it says this product has issued a voluntary safety recall due. It's urgent, but they don't say what you should stop using. You don't even know what the product is. You just see it from Amazon.com and you're like, okay. And because we order so much from Amazon, it could potentially scare us a little bit because here I am. What did I order that I needed to send back? And then after that, it'll offer you a full refund of your original payment. So it's either a choice, they will ask you to click on a link and then sign in to give your bank information so they can send you the refund. That's not how Amazon works. If anyone's returned anything on Amazon, they either give you Amazon credit or they put it back to the original credit card or whatever form of payment that you used. So, and if they can't find the form of payment, guess what? It's just Amazon credit. So that's how you can break down what looks like a scam. But more than anything, stop, pause, and like Dr. Gallegos just said right now, like ask for help. Have somebody else analyze it. Look at it. Call somebody. And even then, call the DMV, call Amazon. If whoever you're getting that information from, reach out back to that direct source to like, is this real or not? Is it real or fake?
Yeah.
That leads us to this next one for Apple. Apple has one something that's very interesting, and it sometimes you'll get a text message from them, or a request, or sometimes even an email, and the information will be asking you for like a link to just basically verify your Apple ID, or that your Apple ID has been compromised or whatnot, or you've been logged out. First off, if you feel comfortable enough to double check, all you have to simply do is just open up your setting, and when you do that, you'll see your name right at the top. And then when you click on your name and your little emoji, you'll see subscriptions, and then it'll ask you for your ID to verify. If it asks you for that, then guess what? You're still logged in. You're good. But for some reason, if you're like, that's a little too much for me, then call Apple customer service and then ask them. They will verify your identity and they will verify if you're logged in or not. And if you're like, I don't want to wait on the phone too long, I want to talk to someone face to face, thankfully, you can go to an Apple store, go to a Genius Bar, and they will be happy to help you. But again, don't get stressed out by urgency. That's what these scammers are always trying to do. You need to do it quick and you need to do it now. This next one I want to show you is it's very important. It's now called vishing, which stands for voice messaging scams. I'm going to go ahead and play this video, and I want you to check it out. I want you to look at um, how scammers are using AI to imitate voices. All right. So let me go ahead and play this and check
Phone
this out.
scams are nothing new, but thanks to artificial intelligence, they are getting more sophisticated and more believable. Scam artists are now using AI to clone voices to trick unsuspecting victims. CBS's Carter Evans takes a look at this frightening new technology in our continuing series, The Age of AI.
Jennifer DeStefano will never forget the frantic call she got from her 15-year-old daughter, Brianna.
And she was, "Mommy's bad man, help me, help me, help me, help me." And this man gets on very aggressive. Listen here, I had your daughter. And then that's when I went into panic mode.
The man demanded $1 million.
I said that wasn't possible. So then he came up with a $50,000.
She never paid the money and would soon learn the call was a popular AI scam. New software can recreate the voices of loved ones in distress, and scammers use that to ask for large sums of money.
This man comes on the phone. He said, "You're going to give me $5,000.
I heard our daughter on the phone. Like, it was unmistakably her.
Americans lost nearly $9 billion to fraud last year alone, up more than 150% in just 2 years.
Younger people experience fraud and fraud losses more often than older people, but it's that older adult who has so much to lose.
Cybersecurity expert Pete Nicoletti created my voice from old news reports online. What you're about to hear is something I never said. Hey, this is Carter. I need your credit card number right now. I mean, that really sounded like me.
It is you. It's cloned you. It's AI Carter.
To test it out, we called my mother. Hey, I'm about to do an interview, but I have a quick question. I need you to text me your driver's license number as soon as you can. She fell for the fake voice. I feel bad.
I feel terrible about it.
Scammed my mom. Did you just get a call from me?
Asking for my driver's license number?
Yes. That was an AI-generated voice.
Oh, God, Carter, that's scary. Is this the real you now?
This is the real me now.
We live in a post-real society. You can't trust the voice, you can't trust the photo, and you can't trust the video anymore.
Our voice is like a fingerprint, and that's that unique fingerprint that's being exploited and weaponized. It has to stop.
And Nora, the technology is really improving. Soon, scammers will be able to react instantly to anything you say by converting their voice into the voice of your loved one in real time.
Carter, this is scary stuff, really eye-opening. So what can people do to protect themselves?
Well, there's a couple of things you can do right away. And the first thing is to create a safe word that only your family is going to know. Secondly, you want to make your social media accounts private. Don't give that information away to potential scammers to use against you. And finally, if you get one of these calls, hang up, call them back, make sure they're really in trouble.
Carter Evans, thank you.
Oh my gosh, this one is the one that scares me the most because, you know, they prey upon your most deepest fear and they make it so real. So I love the idea that they gave of like a family safe word,
Right.
something that's unique to only your family.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
what that could be, but like you'd have to sit there and decide as a family, like what is it that, and it has to be something that somebody wouldn't be able to figure out from your social media. That's the other thing I think about. Like it has to be something that is so embedded within your family that nobody would be able to just like start like looking at your social media and say, oh, their safe word is their dog, Peaches.
I was just thinking, yeah.
You know?
And I was gonna also add if your family's bilingual or has a history, like then even add like a word that's not even in your language. So like I speak English and Spanish, and I would probably add a Spanish family safe word. But just like passwords, probably renewing these or revamping these safe words every 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, or as your kids get older, maybe that it becomes more than a safe word. It becomes like a sentence or favorite
Yeah.
song lyric or something like that. Like
Right.
that song that you sang to your child, you know, growing up. Maybe you take the first line of it or something. But it has to be something that's so unique that an outsider wouldn't know
Right.
or couldn't figure out.
You're making me think as the month of October and Halloween's approaching. I'm like, it's close to midnight, and then the other person has to be like, something evil's looking at your door. I'm like, I don't know from
Yeah,
Joe.
something like that. Or, you
Yeah.
know, I was totally thinking of, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas. It would be like, you know, 3 times or, you know, something like
Yeah.
that. Like those
Yeah.
are things that like, well, now that can't be my safe word, but you know,
No.
that
Yeah.
would be something that would be like a safe word because we love that saying. And as a family, we always go 3 times. Anyway, but that's
Yeah.
not my safe word.
Right. Yeah. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Mhm.
And it wouldn't be Sandy Claus. I just got rid of that one too. So
Yeah. So there's a lot.
There you go. Have fun with it, but that's how you can override this and not be scared. So, like that mom that got the phone call could have asked, "What's the safe word before I give you my driver's license?" And the
Yeah.
AI would have not, the AI or the scammer would have not been able to tell, and that would have, yeah, just gone the wayside.
Yeah,
But
but I could see this like happening to like a grandma or something like that because,
yeah,
grandmas, they always have their grandkids back. So that's definitely one.
that is true. That is true. And but that leads me to this next part. But like, so we're gonna be going over just like what do you do when you do get an online scam? So one, determine if it's an online scam. So you want to look for, first off, like you want to look for typos. If they want money or logins fast, guess what? It's a scam. And remember, I just said if they want it fast and urgent, it's a scam. If people can wait, then it's not. Um, and it kind of even reminds me. I know you've gone on international trips, and I've gone on mine, Dr. Gallegos. But it's almost like when you see sometimes even at like illegal street art. Sometimes it's out there. Like they want to make the transaction fast like when people are out there like they're like, oh, I got to be really quick with this, and you see these people out there that want it. So again, it goes back to like anything that's a scam, it's probably because they want money, they want it fast, and they want to get out of the way.
Chris, so with AI becoming so popular and so used by a lot of people, some of those things that we used to be able to identify a scam by are now being eliminated through AI. So, how else, like the misspelling of words, AI can catch that? Is it just really looking and taking that time and that deep breath and deciding, is this a scam or not? Like calling the organization and really doing your own investigation and knowing that nothing ever is so urgent that you can't take like 24 hours to pay a bill or to look at something.
Oh, 100%. You have
Okay.
to take your time with it. Like
Okay.
and involve involve your trusted family members or friends and like, hey, what's going on here? Like, I want to dive into this. I mean, at the same point, and we'll go over some of the other solutions as well, but you can get the police involved as well. You can get support. So if you feel like you're being scammed, then take your time and go back to the root of wherever that scam is coming from. If it's from calling from one of your credit card companies, if it's somebody from your just even your computer, like whether it be Microsoft, whether it be Android, whether it be PayPal, Amazon, eBay. So I will also say this is that we should probably be careful when it comes to international purchases. If we try to do deals online through WhatsApp and under the table type of things, more than likely it's going to be a scam. Even OfferUp, when you go and you're going to something on OfferUp, you're going to sell or you're going to purchase. The one thing OfferUp always suggests, which I see people rarely ever do, and unfortunately I'm one of them, is they always say do the transaction at a police station. So always take those precautions. And so yes, I would definitely do that.
Another thing that I think is I've done before
Hmm.
is sometimes I'll actually Google it and say, is this a
Yeah.
scam? And then I'll copy it and put it into Google. And then you kind of can get people saying that happened to me, especially like people, there's a lot of like internet police officers kind of people
Yes.
who will help determine if it's a scam. So that's something that I've done sometimes
Yeah.
when I'm
Plenty of
really
online
not.
plenty of online forums to just kind of determine if this is a scam or not. That's great advice
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly.
So, what about this is another thing that happens. If you're getting a scam, please do not communicate with the scammer um, or continue any communication for the future. So, for example, just stop. It's very simple. I put an explicit photo right here. So, if you're watching this, you're seeing is somebody hanging up a phone. I know we don't have many corded phones anymore, but I wanted to get the image across as just simply hang up. Don't engage. If you feel and you know that you're being scammed at the moment, don't try to reason. Don't just hang up on the scammer. Just stop and just that's it. And speaking of stopping, the same thing happens if what happens if you give the scammer access to your computer? Now, there are moments, for example, here at SDCOE, our IT department has access to go to our computers when we give them the access as an employee to go modify software, to debug something, to scan for viruses. There's certain life insurance, financial institutions, even when you're purchasing a home, whatever the case may be, when you're talking to a financial institution and they need to, they give you a website to go to and you need to sign off on something and they will say like, hey, let me share my screen with you, or let me take over your browser, click on this link, I'm going to send it to your phone. And if that's happening and you're like, wait a second, they're asking for this amount of money, they're asking this additional information. And if you've ever given someone access to your computer, the best thing you can do is just power the computer off. Don't close it immediately, power it off. Just push the power button down for 10 or more seconds and it'll automatically just shut the computer down. And if you're nervous, like, I don't know what I'm going to do when I turn it back on or whatnot, you can go to your local Best Buy or the Geek Squad that's located there. They can do a spyware scan. You could go to your Genius Bar at Apple. If you have a family relative, son or daughter or child that's attending a university, they actually have IT departments there that you could probably give your computer to them and say like, hey, it will probably cost a fee, but that fee to scan and clean up your computer from any spyware or anything is a lot more than if you would have given up thousands of dollars of something. So it's more for that peace of mind.
Good advice.
Let's go to this next one right here. If you have given money, just stop. That's it.
No more
It's
money. Don't give them
no
any
more.
more money.
Yeah, just the best thing you can do. Contact your bank, credit card services, and tell them to block the account. Stop all transactions. Yes, it will be a little bit of a workload to re and start everything again, but that that everything that you're losing, all that money that's being lost at that moment, is just finally coming to an end. And again, always contact your local banks or credit card companies. And really, the best advice I've been given, and I'm going to say this advice I was given because I was a victim of a PayPal scam that happened back in 2010. I had my PayPal account connected with my checking account because that's how it worked. And I would use that a lot to purchase things online. I got scammed out of $500, and I was like, and I didn't, and because it was connected to my and my bank had to look into it. It was Wells Fargo at the time. It took about 3 to 4 weeks to get that $500 back, and that was a lot. Especially, I just graduated college. I had no job, and it was the little of the money that I had. And the thing that I learned from there was moving forward is when you're going to do online shopping or anything, use your credit card. This is kind of the importance of having one because credit card companies have the ability to um, reimburse your money or put the stop on there and then reimburse the credit or fix that immediately within at least 24 hours. Dr. Gallegos, I don't know, have you ever had any situation where you've had a disputed charge on a credit card or you've had more favor using a credit card rather than a bank debit card or anything like that, or know of anybody?
Well, one time I noticed that there was just a $1 charge on my card, and I would never charge just $1. So I called my bank, and what my bank told me was that I needed to get new cards because that means that my somebody had stole my card and they were making sure they could access into my bank account. So they had not stolen my card, they had stolen my card number. And
Mm.
so when I saw that that $1 fee, I called my bank immediately. So that's something that I always call my bank or I stop into my bank. I think it's important. And so they actually I had to get all new cards.
Which goes back to the importance of online banking because we can check out every transaction um, as well. And that leads to this next part right here. If you get an online scam, contact your financial institution. Again, lock your credit card. But the one thing I was going to add regarding that, and from the previous one, is also if you are online banking on your smartphone and utilizing a smartphone, you can add notifications so that every time there's a transaction, you get that notification. And you can do that a variety of ways. And it depends on your bank. I would contact your bank and ask them how I can have that happen. At times, it could be either through a text message, it could be through an email, and it can also be through a notification through the app. But that is those old school bank statements that we used to get. Now, a lot of people opt in for the paperless one, but you can see every transaction. Very similar to your phone number and your phone accounts. You can see every phone number you've called, incoming, outgoing. Same thing that happens when you look at your monthly banking statements as well. Next is also if you get an online scam, document the scam. So make copies and put them into an online folder or print them out or into a physical folder. Screenshot these as well. And this is very, very important to do this. If you have older parents, this is something that you need to save. Like you have to screenshot, save the messages, and guide your family members into doing this. This is extremely important because the documentation does help, especially when you're trying to get financial institutions to fight on your end. They're like, hey, do you have any proof? Can you upload any documents? This always takes the place. So always save it and scan it. Hey, go old school. That's why I put a printer here. If you can print it, do it. Print it out and get that going.
I love
How
that.
yeah, same. There's nothing wrong with going a little old school when it comes to some of these new school scams and whatnot. But the other thing you can do is this. There's an official website. You can go to reportfraud dot, get what I'm saying, dot, not dash, reportfraud.ftc.gov. And if you click on that link, or if you just go directly to the website, you can report to the authorities and report to your local police department. It helps banks and carriers block patterns faster as well, because you can let your bank know, or you could have the police let them know. But the communication is you have an official police number, you have an ID number to say like, hey, this is a case number that we're working on, and you have local authority also fighting on your behalf as well. The other thing is this: is that you need to secure your accounts. So we always say change your passwords every 6 months. That's great. And before we used to do where you would have it was like a two-way factor authenticator, but now it's important to have a multi-factor authentication. And that includes just the recovery emails that you might have and phone numbers. And to get a recovery or a multi-factor authentication app, there are some that are out there. One's called Duo. Some businesses and schools and universities use that. There's a free one though that's actually directly from Microsoft. And what it does is it gives you passcodes, passphrases, and it links up several emails. So it could be one of your emails, it could be an email of a loved one as well. And by doing that, it allows you to just have, if anything were to happen, where, for example, when I log onto my bank account, I have to go through not only facial recognition, but also have to go through a passcode that's refreshed. Guess what? Every 30 seconds. So this fresh, and I can only get it through the app, and it's something that you should consider, and it's. So I would just say look for different multi-factor. If you're like, I don't know which one to use, again, contact your bank systems, contact your financial institutions, ask them, hey, is there a multi-factor authentication or MFA that I can use when I'm using my banking system? Now, here's the next one, and Dr. Gallegos, I'd love to get your take on this way because you have you've gone through parenthood and you have adult children as well. But how to talk to your children about online scams, and if you can just elaborate on some of these, and I'll kind of chime in just anything when it comes to the technicalities of it.
Yeah, I think the thing that it's really about is just having open communication on them. And so when my daughter comes out and she's stressed out because of that email or that the toll text that she got, she knew she could talk to me and I wasn't going to be mad at her and say, "Oh, I told you not to drive through toll roads," or something like that. So it's always that open communication. In addition, there's times that we go on and we kind of go to YouTube and see what are the latest scams. We kind of like doing that. And then we talk about credit reports a lot and how to check your credit report. All my kids bank with Mission Fed, and Mission Federal does a great thing where you can actually get your credit report number, your credit score number right there on your online banking. And so that's a good thing to look at as well, because if it goes up and down drastically, especially down, that means somebody's opening credit cards in your name or accessing your credit. And so that's something that I've always talked to my daughters about, and they're really, really good about that. Also, social media ads. That is something that I think my whole family has, well, not my whole family, my husband. So he looks at Instagram and he has seen this place makes the best golf shoes. I'm going to buy a pair of golf shoes from them. And then 4 weeks later he hasn't gotten the golf shoes. It's because he bought something off of Instagram. And he that those can be scams. So I always tell my family, you may be paying a little bit more money by going to one of our local stores or a store that's
Hmm.
recognizable, but go to us, don't buy things off of social media. It's rarely a good thing to do. So it's a lot of conversations. We always talk about don't send passwords over your text, don't send credit cards, don't take pictures of your credit cards and send those to people. Like those basic things I've taught my kids from the very, very beginning. Also, with these voice scams, we've talked about those. So it's really that open communication.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And it's just also important. I will say, just kind of going off being an administrator and seeing a lot of the students when they purchase things like on Discord or when they're buying at the in-app purchases. That's another thing to be careful. Parents just know that like these in-app purchases and a lot of the games that students are playing, whether it be on Roblox or other things that where it says there's in-app purchases, if you have your credit card connected to their phones or to their tablets or whatnot, one, your kids will think they have free reign. They say, "Hey, I am going shopping. I can get whatever I want. My parents will pay for it." But they could also be putting your information and your financial information in jeopardy with that. So just be careful when it comes to that. And I think Dr. Gallegos did a thing where talking to your kids about scams. I think that's awesome. And this next one we have here was brought to our attention from some high school interns that we have here in our ed tech department from a local high school. And they were talking to us about one of the biggest scams that juniors and seniors receive in high schools are emails, letters in the mail that have to do about financial aid to go to college. And they are what it is it's a so-called company that's offering, hey, if you pay us this amount of money, we will complete your financial aid for you. Or they'll be also saying like, hey, your family's been awarded $60,000, but you have to register for a whether it be an onboarding call or a fee or a one-time processing fee. And what they'll do is, again, they'll make it sound very urgent. And here's the bottom line: when it comes to scholarships and financial aid, there are no companies that will do it for you. It's all something that students have to do and families have to do on their own. To complete a FAFSA, that is something that you would have to do on your own. If you're going to have anybody help you out, more than likely it's going to be your tax person or your financial advisor that's going to help you with that. Um, but you're not going to have companies do that for you. And if you ever get these letters, there's several things you can do. If you're like, how do I know if this is real or not? First off, you can actually email some of the counselors at your local high schools that are supporting the students when it comes to their credits and their the colleges and universities that they're applying to. What you can also do is consider the schools that you are considering going to, whether that be a junior college or an actual four-year university, whichever the case is. Forward that email to the financial aid office for that university and say like, hey, I'm a future parent for my child's going to be attending your school. I have a quick question about financial aid. First off, is this real? And then they'll probably be like, no, this is not real. And they'll meet with you or they'll send you the resources that are real that you can utilize. So again, if it's anyone sending this to your child or getting this in the mail and you're like, I don't know if this is real or not, um, always reach out to your child's school, or you can also reach out to a local university. And let's just say your child's going in another state and you're like, I don't want to reach out or have that on the record. Just reach out to a local university in your local neighborhood, to the financial aid offices there. And yeah, that would be a great way of doing that.
I love that we're talking about that because this one gets me very angry.
Yes, and as someone that has adult children and have gone through college, I could see like that would have been that is a challenge, and yeah,
They get your
so
hopes up and then you get scammed. Oh,
yeah, you
not good.
don't, no, not at all.
Bad people.
This is something actually also very important, how to talk to your elderly parents, and this is yeah, I don't know if you want to talk to more about this, Dr. Gallegos. I know you've had conversations where you've shared about your mom and just some of the challenges. And I feel like there's a differences of some generations, like especially parents that are on Facebook a lot, and they kind of have somewhat of a more notion. But I don't know. Can you maybe add a little bit more into maybe having a conversation with elderly parents?
Yeah, one of the things for me, what was really helpful is that when I went to the AARP page, they had all the different scams there that really affect the elderly. And I just loved having that resource. And so when I spoke to my mom, it wasn't me telling her like this is how you could get scammed. It was we looked at the website and it went over the different types. The thing that you have to notice with your elderly parents, if you're concerned about that, is people that scam them try to scam them based off of maybe they're lonely or they're recently widowed. And so it's a lot of like, I'm going to be your friend, or I can be in a relationship with you. So again, like you would have those conversations with your child of open communication, you want to have that with your parents. However, being a daughter, I understand that my mom doesn't necessarily want to have those conversations with me all the time. So that's why I directed her to the AARP page and kind of went through those. So she would at least be aware of what it is. Also, talking to your parents about their finances. And again, a lot of times they're like, I know, I've been through this, I understand, but they don't know the new technology that's associated with scamming. So really making sure that they're aware of that, they know that that there are scammers out there who are trying to take their money, and it has a lot of it manifests itself in a lot of different ways.
No, I think that's great. And some of the things that I was looking at over the notes here was just even keeping our parents, giving them a simple phrase if somebody's calling them about something, just something where they can just say like, I do not go over financial information over my phone. I'm going to call my bank directly, and then just hang up.
Yeah,
Um,
or just hang up. And
that's
that's the thing. Sometimes people, especially of a certain generation, we're taught we aren't rude. We talk to people, and oh, I don't want to hang up because I'll be rude. Be rude. It is okay. It is okay just to like hang up. There are times that when I start seeing that a call is going to be a scam, I just hang up. I don't even engage because I don't want to go over a certain amount of time with them. I don't want to set myself up. So it is okay to tell your parents or your grandparents, hang up.
That is a great segue because yes, you can be rude, but if you do not want to be rude, you can use AI to help you out. And we're going to show a video of an AI granny that loves to waste a scammer's time. And this is actually an initiative that's being started right now in Europe. And you're going to see how this is working out, and how AI is coming into play with this. And hopefully, there'll be a resource out there in the future where we could share with you where we can start using this in the United States. But hey, some of you are creative out there. Ask your kids to create something for their grandparents. Maybe that can be a upcoming a holiday gift that they give them. But let's check out this video. It's only about a minute and like 20 seconds, and it's entitled "AI Scam Baiters." O2 creates AI granny to waste scammers' time.
If you want all your money, savings are gone. But I can help you.
Why do you want to lose all your money that is gone?
7 in 10 Brits have been targeted by scammers. And it's not just our grandparents. I was one of them. But this film isn't about getting scammed. This is about getting even. Meet my friend, Daisy.
Hello, scammers. I'm your worst nightmare. I'm an AI created by O2 to waste phone scammers' time. So, W's then a dot.
3 times W and then dot.
I think your profession is bothering people, right?
I'm just trying to have a little chat.
It's nearly been an hour. For the love of
Gosh, how time flies. It's showing me a picture of my cat, Fluffy.
It's showing you a picture of your cat, Fluffy.
Stop calling me dear, you stupid.
Got it, dear. Because while they're busy talking to me, they can't be scamming you. And let's face it, dear, I've got all the time in the world.
So whilst you're out enjoying life, Daisy and O2 are here fighting scammers, taking calls and wasting hundreds and hundreds of hours of scammers' time. If you want to help Daisy and O2 ruin a scammer's day, you can report scam numbers to 7726. Because you can't do it all on your own, can you, Daisy?
Who says I am, love? Speak soon, scammers.
So if you happen to find yourself in Europe, you can text that number and have Granny and O2 support you with that. Well, before we finish up here, we definitely want to give you some resources. The first one is there will be links, a resource page linked to this that you'll be able to find on our website, and also probably on our show notes as well. But there's Internet Crime Stoppers or Internet Crime Complaint Center, which is some of the resources that we shared earlier. But there's going to be a link where you can actually submit situations that are, if you have a complaint for a specific scam or a situation that's happening. Also, the United States Postal Inspection Service, we actually were able to have a conversation the other day with someone from that department, and they were sharing a lot of the resources that we had were very similar to the advice that they were giving, but they actually go through thorough investigations. So if you need support over a detailed investigating like scam that's going on, whether you get it in the mail or online or anything that's happening, our United States Postal Inspection Service supports in that. And actually, also, Dr. Gallegos, you shared within our team EdTech chat, and I want to give you access to talk about this. I believe this is only a 12-minute podcast episode, so it's a very quick listen. But know your toll payment is not overdue by the journal located from the Washington State Journal.
Or it's from the Wall Street Journal.
Sorry, Wall Street Journal.
That's okay. That's okay. So it was I always listen to podcasts when I walk. That's my thing. And so I love these Wall Street Journal ones because they take something that is current, and what they do is they kind of break it down so somebody who is just listening can listen to it really quickly. And all of a sudden this one came on right when we were spending a lot of time talking about these online scams, and it was all about that toll road payment scam that is out there. And what I loved about it is it kind of broke it down to the history of that scam. And what's interesting, they said for every person, they said people don't really fall for it that much anymore because people are aware of it. But for every person that does fall for it, they can get on average $1,000 out of their account. And so that is kind of like the average of what they do. And so to me, that was really fascinating. And they talked a little bit about how these scammers are getting very sophisticated, where they used to be from, like, say, China and the number, or the Philippines, as we saw earlier. But what they're doing now is they are buying American phone numbers and sending these scams through American phone numbers to hit us up. So it's a really fascinating listen, and it just talks a little bit about the sophistication that happens with online scams. So I highly suggest, if you have any interest, to listen to that, or just listen to some podcasts or news stories on it. You can Google what are the latest online scams, and there'll be lots of different resources for you.
Thank you. And then, yes, the Wall Street Journal. I can't believe I was like, Washington State Journal.
I saw, you know what? I do that too. It's like all of a sudden you're like, okay, there's a W. I know what this is. I read it, but I'm confused.
I was making the connection with United States Postal Service. I'm like, okay, we're keeping the federal conversation here.
No, I do that all the time. I like, and I'm like, I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah. So, depending on when you're listening to this, we may or may not be done with these series or whatnot, but the cool thing is that they are all located on our SDCOE YouTube channel. But on November 3rd, we will be talking about when gaming takes over. We're going to be identifying challenges that students and children face when it comes to gaming and healthy ways of redirecting that addiction. In addition to speaking of addiction, we're going to be talking about technology addiction, and that's going to be more on the more holistic side of just technology in general, whether that be games, phones, even television. I mean, that's been an issue that we've been dealt with for over 50 plus 70 years almost. But we're going to have a actual counselor going to be talking a little bit more on coping mechanisms and different strategies to support and kind of get over that. And then the last one again on December 2nd, the dark side of tech. This one is a play on words. When we say dark side, we're talking about what happens at night. Should we be using technology at night? And what we're going to do is we're going to create a digital detox challenge for all of our families during the winter break, and encouraging people to spend more time together and do things that do not necessarily require technology of it. But we want to thank you for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe to our SDCO YouTube channel so that way you can be updated whenever there's updates of any more parent series or any of our professional developments as well. Dr. Gallegos, thank you for joining me in this discussion, and everyone have a great rest of your evening. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.